Hello every pony. Today we are ranking all of the characters in Resident Evil Requiem or Resident Evil 9 based on how hot they are or how breedable or how attractive they may seem. And I'm only doing this because I'm a fanboy, I'm a fake cell, and Requiem is trending right now, so I'm trying to snag some of them views. This game was crazy, and I can't believe that Leon gets shot in the head at the end of the game. Also, there will be spoilers like how Wesker returns just to die to Hunk. Anyways, starting off, we're going to rank the poster boy of the game, Leon the Sex Kennedy. Now, some might say this is controversial, but I'm putting him in C tier because I am not a homo and I am not into yaoi. His only saving grace is the very cool weapon he carries around in the game. Also, Leon calling Wesker the gamer war towards the end of the game before he dies really makes me hate his character. I think it was just in bad taste and pretty racist for Leon to say such a thing. For those of you who played Requiem and beat the game, you know what I'm talking about. Next, we have Grace Ashcroft. Fuck. This thing is a woman, so I'm forced to rank her higher or I might get drone strike by Iranian officials. She has suitable wide birthing hips and beautiful hands meant for washing the dishes, two high qualities found in every Redditor's waifu. She reminds me a lot of Pyrocynical, so that's a good and a bad thing for her ratings. Pyrocynical is my favorite lesbian, so I'll put Grace Ashcroft in A tier. Next is Emily. Emily is 6 or 7. Oh, 6 or 7. S tier. The most forbidden fruit is always the sweetest. Next we have Zeno. This guy is actually the real Wesker and not a clone. Depending on what people say, they're all wrong. Now this dude is an absolute player and his swag is unrivalable. Genuinely, he has a cool little edgelord eye scar infection looking thing. Hopefully it's not AIDS for the sake of this video. He has a nice looking pair of aviators based glasses. Also, to top it all off, he wears this Hitman-esque looking white suit with an overcoat. The only negative thing is he's human and smokes, so he's going to smell like an ashtray. I think Capcom should have made an executive decision here and made him a furry or an anthropomorphic silver fox or gray wolf just to make him appeal more sexually. That would have put him into S tier. However, since he smokes and is human, he's going in A tier. Next is Victor Gideon. This thing's a freak. He doesn't brush his teeth, as Leon famously quotes.
When's the last time you brushed your teeth?
Also, this creature, the Black Lagoon, has not just a double chin, but a triple chin, an impressive feat for a necrotic human thumb such as himself. He gives off the impression of someone who does not shave down there, because we can tell from his operation scars that he's terrible at shaving, so I wouldn't be surprised if his little Gideon down there fell off due to plague, or he chopped it off while trimming the tree. Also, this man was fiending for Emily, and I wouldn't be surprised if later we find out he was in the Raccoon City flight logs. All this being said, we're going to put him in D tier for the D he probably doesn't have down there, and for being a doctor. Elisa Ashcroft. Now, I know she's already dead before Requiem begins, alright, so I'm technically ranking a corpse. However, when she was alive, she looked pretty similar to Grace Ashcroft. I wonder why that is. Now, we don't know much we don't know much about her, but I can say that women who do journalism, as long as it's not cringe, are pretty hot, okay? This alone ranks her higher than her sister in A tier, but since she's dead, and I'm not Ed Gein, and I prefer not to munt when it comes to corpses, we'll have to bury her in F tier. Next is Hunk. Alright, Hunk, my man, aka the Commander. Automatic S tier. Hunk is by far one of the best characters in the series, and for them to kill him off and then retcon it by making his body magically disappear is a very gay move on Capcom, even gayer than making a Resident Evil 9 hottest character tier list. Next we have Sherry Burkham. She's 40. I'm not into cougars. I'm not a fan of the facial structure and hair. Makes her look like a mannequin, and also as if she starred on the set of Wicked. She knows how to handle a firearm, unlike Grace, so that's a nice touch. I think if I was forced to, I would have to do the paper bag technique in this situation. She does have that gnarly raccoon hand tattoo, so I guess I'll put her in C tier. I'm really not a fan of her, though. I think she just...
It insists upon itself, Lois. What?
It insists upon itself.
What does that even...
Next is Earl Spencer. This is the white version of Hector Salamanca from Breaking Bad. The skullet-wearing unk is wheelchair-bound and has probably lost the innate ability of being potty-trained. There's not much to say about his Stephen Hawking impersonation. I think he's also already dead by Requiem, not too sure, so it's basically just a skeleton in a wheelchair, and I'm not creative enough, nor can I build enough friction to work with that, so we're gonna have to put him in F tier. Alright, now the real part of the video. The monsters and the mutated. First, starting off strong here, is the Shadow Ghost Monster, aka the girl. She's really gross, especially with that bulging window on a submarine-looking eye that she has. Also her receding hairline in this case, and the massive amount of wrinkles. She looks like a living scrotum. I wouldn't be surprised if Victor Gideon shaved off his ballsack and it became sentient, and now we have this lurker. I think her head game would be unmatched, but I think once it's in, you're not getting it back. Also, I just can't stand to look at her for more than 2 minutes without getting seasick. For this reason, we're going to have to put her in D tier. Now we have the Chunk. This thing's fat. He low-key has the same physique as me, so I rate him higher, as to not deflate my massive gassy ego. He has children-bearing hips, although I'm scared of what lurks under those folds, for we know it could be another mutated head, or worse, a copy of Resident Evil Umbrella Corpse. For these big reasons, and the massive elephant in the room with us right now, I'll have to put him in B tier. God have mercy on our souls. Next we have the Blisterborn, Mr. Munt himself or herself. You wouldn't need to bring lube to this event, however you would need a hazmat suit with a little hole cut out in the bottom. Really not worth the risk here, boys, and maybe one girl who's into it. I think it's a woman, so that's positive. It has an enormous maw for those of you into vor. This might be your type of thing. This might be a huge plus, you know. However, because of these huge blisters that remind me of canker sores, I'm putting this nasty salad fingers having abomination in the bowels of F tier, where this thing should stay for all eternity. Next is Emily again, but this time as a mutated baby we all saw in Resident Evil Village. This creature makes an appearance again in this game, and Leon finally puts the fed bait monster down for good. I'm not even going to comment on this monster because it's going in F tier just to save my skin here and any reputation I may still have. Next is the Titan Spinner.
The giant enemy spider.
I would need to buy 8 golden rings for, you know, this beauty, but it would be worth it. It's literally just a giant spider, so there's not much to say, although I think it's the same species class as a tarantula, so based on my knowledge of that, it might be friendly, who knows. Next is Garmer. Those dogs, I don't know why I'm ranking them. You know, it's just a dog. I'm not a white woman, so probably D tier. I'm not going to put an F tier because there may be a saving grace, like it has the mental capacity, but I'm not going to dwell on this, because that's kind of weird. Let's move on. Mr. X, aka Mr. Sex himself, automatic A tier. I don't care what anyone says. This man is unkillable menace. He has the same getup as Valentine's from Fallout 4, so Mr. X knows about style when it comes to dressing. He big and he's strong, so he's basically Raccoon City's biggest bear. Now the bad things about bears, besides usually mauling people, is they're hairy, and hairy Mr. X under his trench coat, similar, or I can only imagine it being similar to Saxon Greaves from Team Fortress 2, scares me and keeps me up at night. Plant 43. Nah. I know for a fact, even if I tried, I would end up like that thing. End up like this Among Us cosplayer in this image. I'm good, man. I'm not a vegan. Let's move on. No plans for me. Chef. Yes, Chef. This guy reminds me of the white Barack Obama. See what I mean here? He's also a good cook, and it's rumored that Chunk was actually skinny before Chef moved into Raccoon City. Don't ask me, though. You know, we don't even know what type of food he cooks. It could be people. I was too scared to look in the pots as Emily. Overall, he looks pretty basic, and he's more of, you know, the weaker side of the bosses. I'll put him in B tier just for being bland. Anyways, that wraps up this tier list. I intentionally missed some enemies and characters because I'm a lazy fat chud. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and comment who you think the best character is in Resident Evil 9. Thank you.